Here we go, game number 2. Facing off against Lakewood from Ohio. Pass out front, can't connect. Judd working on it behind the net. Feet, it's under him. Noble helping him out. Noble comes out with it, gets it back to the blue line for Markwich. Markwich shot on net, glove save. Battle down low. Lakewood chips up into the neutral zone. Into St. Charles territory. Shot, blocker, save from Rowan McCann. Now Younger gets the puck off the player into the neutral zone. Lakewood gets it back in the zone. Shot, fired, save. Rebound goes over the net. Young to Crossweight. Crossweight circles back up the corner. Daniel to the neutral zone. Over for Gauchi. There we go, icing called. Net comes off. Face off to the right of the goaltender. Noble back on the draw with Gauchi and Judd. McLean on the point with Wierzbicki. Puck's in the corner. Wierzbicki stands him up. Gets some help from Noble. Wierzbicki picks up the loose puck. Gets up for Carson. Oh, sorry, that's Marshfield. Marshfield back for Wierzbicki. Pass in front. Couldn't connect. They're all tied up. Now Marshfield back with it. Chips it up to Judd. Judd chips it in the zone. Lakewood gets it out. There we go. Judd gets a stick on it. Noble with some pressure, and it's back for McLean. He's got a second. He looks, fires up center. Lakewood gets a piece of it, so ice waved off. Back in their zone, Marshfield, big hit. And Noble sends it back down low. Behind the net. Chipped up the boards. Tijo gets the puck back up in the neutral zone. Judd's got it. Little move, shot on net. Goalie makes a save. We'll get a face-off in their zone. Out comes Young, Holden to join Marshfield. Or no, to join Gauchi. We're switching up the lines a bit this game, so bear with me. Gilbert on the point with Peugeot. Shot fired, steered away by the goalie. Holden follows that up. Peugeot keeps it at the blue line. Battle at the blue line. Peugeot keeping the puck in the zone, getting help from Carson. Carson gets in, finishes feet, gets a hip check. Now puck's back in the zone. Vinny returns the hit. Puck comes up the side. Pressure from Carson, chips it up out of the zone. Gilbert picks up the puck in the neutral zone. Gets over for Young. Young sends that cross ice. It's deflected away by Lakewood. They dump it in the zone. Peugeot after it. Gets the puck behind the net. These boards are very forgiving. Lakewood gets a shot. Puck comes around now for Holden. He sends that out of the zone. Lakewood dumps it back in. That's offside. It's going to go back a little bit because they passed it in the zone in front of their bench. No, just right here. Just a regular offside. Larsh on the draw. Billard with O'Kane. O'Kane chips it in the zone off the draw. Burns on the back end, keeps it in. He fires a shot. Goalie sends that away. Puck's still in the zone. Lakewood fires it all the way down. Ice and waved off. Markovich working at it in the corner. Gets some help from Larsh. Markovich chips it up. O'Kane gets the puck. Skates it out of the zone. Gets the red line, dumps it in. Goalie tries to play it. Comes up the side. There we go. We send it back in the zone. Puck comes out. Ice and waved off. Burns gets there first. Sends up the boards. Just out of the reach of O'Kane, but out of the zone. Puck's back in for Burns. Gets up for Billard. He chips it up in the neutral zone. Rowan sends that in the corner for Burns. Burns for Markovich. Markovich up the boards. Lakewood puts it out front. Nope. Up in there. We send that out into the neutral zone. Yeah, so we're playing St. Edward from Lakewood, Ohio. Just figured out what the E on the shirt was. Looks like the Edmonton Eskimos jersey. Now puck back in our zone, picked up by Burns. He sends that back for Markovich. Markovich circles back, down low. He's double teamed. The puck stays behind the net. Now Markovich fires up the boards. They keep it in at the blue line. Plays behind the net. Burns is on that. Gets it up for Larsh. Larsh chips it up. It's kept in, but now it comes out. Now pressure from Marshfield in the neutral zone. Gets it to the blue line. It's knocked back for Wiersbicki. He gets it up for Judd. Judd into the zone. Gets a shot in front. Rebound comes out. Marshfield after it. Marshfield keeps that in. Puck coming around for Wiersbicki on the side. He pinches. Gets a piece of it. Noble puts it in the zone. But Edwards sends it out. Now Noble in the neutral zone gets it up for Marshfield. Marshfield gets it into the zone. There we go. Nice hit in the corner. The guy trips him. Puck comes back in our zone. Rowan plays it behind the net. Noble chips it up for Judd. Judd on the side. Tries to get that out front. Edwards gets there. They get a shot. That's blocked. McCann hangs on to the rebound. Quite the setup from Ohio School. He's got a headset and everything. I'm going to have to upgrade my situation here. All right. Carson on the draw. Stick breaks off of McLean's head. Now puck comes out of the zone. Back in for McCann. He plays that over for Andy. Andy Over for Vinny. Vinny comes up the side, gets to the red line, dumps it in the zone. Getting some help now from Carson. Carson puts it in. Young follows it behind the net. Behind the net, Carson comes out with it, sends it back behind for Young. Young puts it out front. Couldn't connect with Holden, knocked away by Ohio. Now they dump it in the zone. McLean gets it for St. Charles. Reverses up for Holden. Holden centers that for Carson. Gets away from him. Ohio trips it back up in the neutral zone. They gain the red line and dump it on net. Big hit from Billard. I don't know if I got that on camera. Larsh and Gilbert throwing their weight around. Billard picks up the loose puck. Billard comes up through center with it. Dodges him. Tries to get a pass from Holden. Now Larsh helping out. Larsh at the blue line. Sends that across and out. McLean gets there. Bounces over his stick. Back for Vinny. Vinny off the glass and out. O'Kane after it. O'Kane keeps that in the zone. Behind the net comes O'Kane. He gets the puck out front. Goalie makes a save. Ohio comes out with it. In the neutral zone, Markowicz gets it back, dumps it in. Now in the corner, Ohio coming up with it. Nice hit from Billard. Forces the puck back for Peugeot. Peugeot sends that off the boards for O'Kane. O'Kane gets punched in the head off that hit. Now it's back for Markowicz. She steps up to the red line, dumps it in. Pressure from O'Kane. Puck comes up the neutral zone. Marshfield gets a piece of that. It's knocked back for Peugeot. Peugeot to Markowicz. Back for Quinner. Quinn behind the net. Tries to send that up. Finds Markowicz. Markowicz goes for a skate. Markowicz gets it in. Offside called. .243 to go in the first period. Still 0-0. Carson, Liam, and Jackson up front. Will on the point with Alex. Puck goes in the zone. Goalie plays it. Judd with some pressure behind the net. Gets some help from Marshfield. Now over for Judd in the corner. It's tied up. Get some help from Marsh again. Puck comes back to the blue line. Burns puts it back in the zone. We get back on side. Pressure. Puck comes up to the blue line and out. Nice work from Noble. Get the puck back in the zone. Gets that on net. Judd tips it. It's loose in front. Ohio chips it to the blue line. Burns stops it. Puts it deep in the zone. Ohio kicks that back up. Chips it over his head. And Wiersbicki to Marshfield. Back for Wiersbicki. Trick pass. He finds Judd. Judd sends it up center for Noble. Noble with some speed enters the zone. Cuts across the blue line. Gets tripped up. No call. Sent around. It's back for Noble. He cuts into the slot. Backhand pass for Judd. He's on his backhand. Forehand shot. Deflected. Judd's there to keep it in. Puts it up front. Gets back to the blue line. Burns keeps that in. Burns gets that to Judd. Chips that down low. Pressure from Noble. Puck coming around. Shift up. And Burns keeps that in at the blue line. Whistle goes. Judd was battling at the blue line in front of the bench. We'll just get a face-off in front of the... It should be inside the zone. It's going to be outside. Back to McLean. McLean gets the red line, fires that on net. Goalie sends that in the corner. We're down to the final minute of the first period. 0-0 is the score. Ohio sends that down. That's going to be icing. Carson on the draw. Holden with him, and Young sends that down low. Holden after it behind the net with some pressure. We're going to get called for a trip there. What a soft call. Guy stepped on his stick essentially, but power play coming up for Ohio. All right, 48 seconds to go in the period. 2 minutes on the penalty. Ohio gets the puck back to the blue line. Cross, backdoor pass, can't connect. And they keep it in. Pressure from Gauchi. They get it back to the blue line. Backdoor, can't connect on that one either. Chipped up, but it's kept in by St. Edwards. And get it back to the blue line. Shot out of bounds. "19 seconds to go in the period. Andrew and Dan on the point. Liam and Jackson up front. Off the draw, they send it back to their blue line. They get a shot. Save is made. "14 seconds. Puck goes back to the blue line. Judd chips that out. Chips it over. They call a trip. Oh! And then another hit afterwards. Let's call that penalty shot. 2 minutes for tripping. Could have been an extra 2 for a cross check while he's down. Now we got 5 seconds in the period. 0-0. 4-on-4. Noble coming in for the draw. He's going to take a shot right off the draw here. Can't connect on the shot. Poked up by Andrew, but that's going to be the end of the period. Couple extra little conversations at the end. Try to leave the penalty box because the period was over, but maybe it's different in Ohio. I'm not sure. We'll give them benefit of the doubt on that one. Do you see the camera? Yeah, he's wireless, so you can walk away. Yeah, I got them. I filmed them for a second. I got them on camera, so I got stuff. All right, 4-on-4 for a minute 11, and then we'll have a power play for 44 seconds. 12 minutes to go in the second period. We get the puck into their zone. St. Edwards heads out with it. They get into our zone out front. They get a shot. McCann shuts the door. Rebound behind the net. Picked up by Gilbert. He sends that across for Judd. Towards the icing. Gets it into the zone. Puck is sent back to the blue line. Nice shot from Markowitz. Oh, Judd gets a piece of it, but save is made. All right, Carson on the draw. He's got Marshfield on the wing, Markowicz, and Gilbert on the point. Puck's chipped to the blue line. Gilbert keeps it in. Carson picks up his shot off the blocker. Gets back to the blue line. Marshfield to Markowicz. Over for Gilbert. Gilbert circles back, takes a look. Still looking. Gets it up for Marsh. Cross ice pass intercepted by Ohio, but offside is called. 16 seconds to go in this 4-on-4. 11:05 to go in the second. Still 0-0. Puck gets back into his zone off the draw. Now Gilbert comes up the side with it. Ohio keeps it in. Now they send that out. Pressure from Marshfield. Gauchi, but comes back for Markowicz. Markowicz behind the net with it. He's got 30 seconds on the power play. Marshfield back for Markowicz. Carson helping out. Carson for Holden. We knocked that over for Marshfield. Back for Markowicz. Now we dump it in. Goalie after it. Gilbert gets a piece of it. Carson keeps it in. Puck comes up center. Marshfield gets it back. Hands it off to Wiersbicki. He dumps it in the zone. Follows it up. Gets some help from Holden, but that's picked up by Ohio. They send it out, and we're back to 5-on-5. Behind the net, Wiersbicki picks it up. Gets some pressure. Ohio's in the zone. They get a shot. Big save. Net comes off. Sorry for the blurriness. We'll see what we can do about that. All right, just under 10 minutes to go in the second. Larsh on the draw. Puck gets shot in front, blocked by Wiersbicki, but he felt that. He's still down. He's going to head off. He took that right in the gut. Now pressure from Larsh. Puck coming up. O'Kane gets past him into the zone. Pass intercepted. You get that out of the zone. Ohio sends it back in. Peugeot after it in the corner. He's tied up. Puck comes out front. Knocked away by Burns. Puck's behind the net. Now it comes out. Net comes off again. And Ohio gets a puck. Shot deflected down low. Peugeot sends it up. Now Kane on the sidewall gets tied up. It's in some feet. Now Larsh gets that across for Billard. Billard chips it up center. Into zone. Pressure from O'Kane. Puck's back in our zone. Comes out. They send it back in. Back on side. Peugeot behind the net. Up the boards. Kept in by Ohio. There you go. Ohio gets it out front. They tuck it. Try to tuck it in. They can't. Battle on the side. Kept in at the blue line. Behind the net. Burns after it. He's tied up. Jackson helping him out. Marshfield working at it. Now it's back. Burns around. Judd chips it up. Kept in at the blue line, but in comes Noble. Noble gets it out. He's got Marshy with him. Oh, shot fired. Rebound bounces out. Judd keeps it in. Marshfield battles. There we go. Big hit from Crossway. We get in the zone. Pass over to Marshfield. His shot just off the side. Judd gets it back down low to the blue line. McLean shot on net. Going with the glove save. There we go. 7.5 minutes to go in the second. Still 0-0. We'll get Carson on the draw. Holden and Young on the point. McLean on the back end with Crossway. Puck goes out of bounds off the draw. We'll have a face-off right back there. Real Young kicks that down low. Works it behind the net, gets it out front. Couldn't connect though. Ohio starts to break out with it. And dump it in the zone. Behind the net. They pass out front. They can't connect at the blue line. That shot's deflected high. Stays in bounds. Crossway battles. Getting some help from whistles going. These guys trying to get into it. Now everyone's involved. Whistles blowing steady. It's making a big difference, I can tell. Yeah, blow the whistle again. It's going to help. Well, that's the end of that. These guys still tied up in the corner. Still ongoing. Sorry for the blur. Better be 2 from each side going in the box. No, we got 2. They got 1 in the box for some reason. They brought the extra guy in. They had the third man in. We just tried to pull him off. It's going to be frustrating. Like, they had third man in. Somehow we end up with the penalty kill. Can't see the score sheet, so who knows why. It is what it is. 7 minutes to go. 2 minutes on that penalty. Edwards gets the puck in their zone. Hold him at the blue line. Shot, deflected away. Carson gets there, chips it all the way down. Some pressure from Liam, gets the puck. Come on! Are you blind? What are you doing, ref? That's a cross check. Cross check. Power play goal for St. Edwards. Well, 6 minutes to go in the second. 1-0 for St. Edwards. Back to 5-on-5. There we go. Puck's in our zone. Lars chips it up for O'Kane. O'Kane chips it out of the zone. Pressure from Billard gets it in the zone. Breaks his stick. He was terrified, as he should be. Puck hits the stick. Wiersbicki keeps it in. Now it comes out. Back in our zone. Puck's behind the net. Ohio passes out front to get a shot. Big save, rebound, cleared out of the zone. Nice and waved off. They get back in our zone. Burns behind the net, chips it off the glass. At the blue line, they keep it in. Now Burns sends it up center. St. Edwards gets it back in their zone. Pressure, forces an icing. Four and a half minutes to go in the second. 1-0 Ohio. Off the draw, Judd walks in, gets the puck out front. We're working at it, still loose. There, we're getting a power play finally. Interference in front of the net. Marshfield was getting ragdolled. All right, power play with 4:23 to go in the second. Larson hold it on the wings. Jackson on the draw. McLean on the point with Judd. Holden back for Judd. Cross for McLean. McLean down low for Noble. Noble walks in. Feeds it across to Judd. Back to McLean now. McLean to Noble. His shot. Glove save. Minute 43 to go in the power play. Still lots of time. Gets tied up. Larsh sends it back to the blue line. McLean shot on net. Save. Rebounds loose. Another rebound. The goalie's down, but he's back up now. Ohio sends that around the boards and out. Minute and a half to go with the power play. McLean with the puck behind the net. Hands it off to Noble. Cross ice. Pass doesn't connect. Back for McLean now. Now this time over for Judd. Cross ice pass. Gets in the zone. Holden gets a piece of it to avoid the icing. Go, nice play by Brady. Gets some help from Larsh. Brady walks out. His shot on net. Rebound. Cleared away. And out of the zone. 45 seconds to go on the power play. McLean gets a puck behind the net. Hands it off to Noble. Noble across for Judd. Over the red line into the zone. It's chipped out. 30 seconds. Whistle. Net comes off. Or what? Yeah. I don't even know what this whistle was about that time. Probably the net coming off, but he's sliding post to post. He's just being a goalie. Nets suck out here. It's not his fault. Two minutes and 40 seconds to go. Puck's back for Vinny. Comes out with it through the neutral zone. Ohio knocks that away and heads back our way. Shot goes high. Back for Gauchi. He sends that around. Back to 5-on-5 hockey now. Puck's up for Willard. He gets that in the zone. Yeah, both go. Faceoff's got to be back in the zone. Of course not. In front of our zone. All right, 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the second. 1-0 Ohio. 5-on-5. Puck's back for Burns. He chips off the boards for Holden. He chips that up. Ohio sends it back for Burns. He gets that to Noble. Noble to Holden. He gets in the zone. His shot on net. Goalie's going to hang on to that. Puck goes in the corner. Holden follows it up. Come around the other way. Pressure from Noble. Ohio sends it up center. They get into the zone. They're offside. Now they get back onside, dump it in. Playing to Burns, up for Larsh, out of the zone. Ohio sends it back in. McLean gets it behind the net, up for Larsh. Larsh off the boards for Noble. Noble through the neutral zone. Tries to get that cross ice. Loose puck in neutral zone, picked up by Brady. He gets that in the zone. Gets some help from Jackson. Larsh gets a piece of it, but it's knocked away. Now we're offside. Oh, wait. He waves us onside, even though that one worked out for us on the line change. Noble behind the net for Judd. Judd puts it out front. Marshfield working at it. Shot from the blue line. Oh, nice try. It's in front. Now it's cleared out to the blue line. Burns keeps that in. Sends it down the corner. That's going to go all the way down. Might be on net though, so no icing. McCann plays that over for McLean. McLean fires that up into the zone. Nice chip from Noble. Gets it to Judd. He's triple teamed in front. They send it up to the blue line. There we go. We get the red line. Dump it in. We got yellow for Slash. They did. I heard yellow. I think the goalie slashed him. He's been warning the goalie a couple times. And oh, they don't. Maybe they don't know these rules in Ohio. It's different. No. When the goalie gets a penalty, you have to put something in the box. Yeah, because I asked the players earlier too. And at intermission, they're allowed to go to the bench from the penalty box. Oh my god! 22 seconds to go in this period. Possibly the longest game ever. Get it back to the blue line. Markovich sends it back for Carson. Carson for Jackson. Jackson gets it out front. Carson in his feet. Now Marshfield gets a shot. 10 seconds to go. It's back to the blue line. We hand it off to Liam. He gets a shot through traffic. He gets a pad on it. Markovich at the buzzer. Can't get that through traffic. Nice try. That's the end of the second. Yeah. He knows he's a feisty goalie. He's going to draw a penalty out of him. All right, third period action out at the Gale Center, Niagara Falls, Ontario. We got a 15-minute third period. We'll start off on the power play for a minute 37. Cuts back for Liam. Circles back at the blue line, crosses the red line. Gets in the zone. Takes it behind the net. Gets it back to Gilbert. Gilbert back to Judd. Cross ice for Noble. High slot for Gilbert. His shot. Glove save. Rebound. Chipped off the glass and out. Rowan plays that for Vinny. Vinny gets that to Liam. Liam chips that up. Knocked back. Noble picks up the puck. Sends it cross ice. Judd chips it back up center. Back in the zone. Pass out front. Doesn't connect. Gilbert with the puck. Comes up side. Gets it up to Liam. Liam gets in the zone. Behind the net. Hits the brakes. Off the boards for Gilbert. Gilbert back for Liam. In front. Backdoor. Bounces away. Ohio sends it out in the 15 seconds. The power play. And he gets up for Liam. Liam chips it up center. Icing called. Harrison ends up back for Markowicz. Harrison up the side, chips it up. And we're back to 5-on-5. Ohio chips it in up for Markowicz. Markowicz out for Holden. Holden to Gauchi. Gauchi going up, get some help from Wiersbicky. A little hit from McLean, and now Markowicz gets back for it. Markowicz sends that around for Holden. Gauchi plays the body. Holden helping him out. Go. Brady coming up the side, gets some help from Carson. Brady sends that across the blue. Kept in by Ohio. Their shot wide. Rebound kept in. Into the corner. Carson chips up the boards. Brady kicks that out front. Ohio gets in. Shot fired. Save. Glove save. All right, 12 and a half minutes to go in the second. We're going to have a face-off over here. Shot fired. Big save from McCann. Rebound in the corner. Goes behind the net. Noble up the side with it. Gets it out of the zone. O'Kane working at it. Gets some help from Peugeot. He dumps that in the zone. Ohio sends it out. Burns is back for it. Back to the blue line. Ohio gets a shot on net. McCann with the save. $12 minutes to go. 1-0 Ohio. Beats. Comes out to high slot. Marshfield across for Liam. Liam gets it into the zone. He's in the corner. Gets some help from Carson. It comes around. Burns coming in for it. Funny bounce. Stays in the corner. Now it's back to Burns. His shot steered away by the goalie. Ohio comes back out with it. Burns stops him at the blue line. They get that in. They're offside. Back onside. Peugeot with possession. Peugeot to Burns. Tries to work that out. Kept in by Ohio. Now Burns sends that back around. Judd picks it up on the sidewall. Chips it off. Gets the red line. Dumps it in. At the red line again. Gilbert steps up. Gets the puck. Sends that cross. They tip it into the zone. Around the corner. Puck comes out front. Ohio comes out with it. Shot is wide. Rebound. Held off by Gilbert. Now Carson to Jackson. Jackson across. Tries to get that to Liam just out of his reach. Puck behind the net. Fired around the boards. Gilbert's there to keep it in. And stand his ground. Can't jump at the guys, but apparently we can out here. Judd sends it deep. Where's Bicky after it? Around the other side, Ohio chips it up. Noble gets it out front, picked up by Ohio. At the blue line, it just comes out. Puck's knocked away. Holden and Gilbert working at it. Loose puck picked up. Now Noble to Wiersbicky, back to Noble. He takes that into the zone. Bounces back in our zone. Shot, glove save. Nine and a half minutes to go in regulation. Burns and McLean on the point. Carson on the draw. Max. Larsh up front. I think it's Nolan. I gotta learn names. Anyways. Puck comes out. Shot off the post. Back to the blue line to keep that in. Bounces back to the blue line again. Another shot. Glove save. Burns chips it up. Marshfield to Grouchy. Gets into the zone. Carson gets out front. Can't get a pass. It's cleared away by Ohio. It's got to be icing. It will be. Comes around and out. Ohio gets in the high slot. Can't get a shot. Now they come around. Shot. Save. Markovic sends a puck behind the net for Gilbert. Gilbert sends it up for Holden, over for Noble, into the zone. Noble falls in, gets it behind the net in front. Where's Bicky all tied up? Back to the blue line for Markovic. This shot saved, cleared out. Icing called. 8:27 to go in regulation. 1-0 Ohio. Trying to get that back to the blue line. Ohio intercepts it. Their shot goes wide, though. Now, Wiersbicky chips it up for Noble. Knocked back by Ohio. Markowicz stops it at the red line. Sends it back in their zone. Ohio fires it up center. Back in our zone. Gilbert gets it up the boards. Holden gets in his feet. Just under 8 minutes to go. Everyone's out of the box now. Oh, no, almost everyone's out of the box. They get in, get a shot, big save. Puck comes out for O'Kane, takes it out of the zone. Sends that cross ice. Crossway gets it up over the blue line, gets some help from Gauchi. They get that out front. It's at the blue line again. It comes out. Larsh gets it. Ships that up. Sent away by Ohio. Back in our zone. Crossway gets the puck. Chips up the boards. Carson in the neutral zone. Cross for Crossway. Crossway into the zone. Drops it for O'Kane, but Ohio gets it out, heads the other way. You get in the zone. Blocked by Carson. He dumps that out. Back in now for Daniel. Daniel off the boards and out. Jackson chips it into the zone. Oh, nice Ohio player blows the wheel. His teammate helps him out though. Puck coming up the side and up center now. Peugeot chips that up. Ohio goalie plays it. Marshfield comes in, gets the puck. Back for Peugeot, rolling puck. He sends that in front. Rolls away into the corner. Noble fires it in front to Judd. Could have had a backdoor. Net comes off. Ohio bench pretty quiet now about the net coming off though. They were very concerned last period. Six and a half minutes to go. Still down by one. Shot from Marshfield on net. Goalie just hangs on to it. Marshfield gets another shot. That one goes wide. Chipped out by Ohio. Burns sends it back to the neutral zone. They send that back in our zone for Burns. Burns to Marshfield. Over for Noble. Kept in though by Ohio. Their shot goes wide. On the sidewall, Judd chips it out of the zone. Ohio dumps it in. Nice and laid off. McCann moves it for Burns. Up for Judd. Battle. Judd to Peugeot. Back up for Liam. Liam gets in. They're going to call a trip. .5:37 to go. Power play St. Charles. Noble, Young, and Holden up front. Judd and Gilbert on the point. Puck comes back for Liam. He pokes it up for Brady. Back for Liam. Back and forth on the sidewall. Judd sends it in front of the net. Back door for Noble. It's in! We got a tie game. Jackson from Liam and Brady. 1-1. Both goals, power play goals for each team. Five and a half minutes to go in regulation. (1-1). Larsh coming in for the draw. Wiersbicky and Holden on the wings. Wiersbicky chips it into the zone. There we go. Nice hit from Larsh. Now it's back for Gilbert. Gilbert sends it up the boards. Ohio keeps it in, but now Wiersbicky sends that across ice for Holden. Holden gets into the zone. Shot deflected away in the corner. Battle at the blue line. It just comes out. Larsh sends it up for Gilbert. He gets into the zone. Pass out front. Can't connect. At the blue line, Holden, Gilbert working at it. It's kept in by Ohio. Shots blocked. Now they get another chance. In comes Wiersbicky. He gets that puck out of the zone. Goes for a skate. Wiersbicky gets it into the zone. Holden to Gauchi. Gets a shot. Goalie with a big save. 4.5 minutes in regulation. 1-1 hockey. Back to the blue line. Shots fired. Blocked in front. O'Kane gets a piece of it. It's loose out front. Cleared away by Ohio. McLean gets it back. Fires it into the zone. Pressure. Puck comes up the side. And it's knocked out by Ohio. They get back in the zone. All alone. Nice pass across it. Puck comes up the side for McLean. He fires that around. O'Kane gets a piece of it. Ohio keeps it in. Shot. Rebound goes in. 3:50 to go. Regulation. 2-1 game. Can with the save. 3:43 in regulation. 2-1 Ohio. You can't step on his blade. He just fucking broke his blade. All right. Quick show continues. 3:40 to go. Shot, glove save. Wiersbicky gets the puck, ships it up. Knocked back by Ohio. Puck cleared away by Burns. Shot, save. All right. So the coincidental penalties, they probably got 10s, so they got sent off. So Marshfield hits the room. 5-on-5, face off. Looks like it's back in our zone, even though they got the first penalty. 3:16 left in regulation. St. Charles down 2-1. All right, off the draw. Shot from the point. Goes in. All right. 3-1. 3:12 to go in regulation. I guess Liam and the other guy got 10s also because they're not on the bench either. So, what this game? This has been 3 minutes to go in regulation. Puck's back in our zone. Noble with it. Fires it up for Markowicz. He gets it over the blue. Now Billard takes the puck into the zone. Whistle goes. I don't know why. Maybe it hit a player on the bench on the way in. 2:37 to go in regulation. Larsh on the draw. Gets a shot towards the net. At the blue line, Larsh keeps that in. Holden battles. Sends it down low. Ohio chips it up. At the blue line, Markowicz keeps it in. His shot gets deflected into the corner. Holden playing the body, and puck comes out for Gilbert. Vinny to Harrison. He chips that up. Holden plays the body. Shot goes over the net. Gilbert to Young. Ohio sends that back in the zone. Gilbert picks it up. Over for Harrison. Up for Larsh. Cross for Vinny. Ohio gets in. Shot goes wide. Gilbert fires it up for O'Kane. Here comes Ohio. They send it back in the zone. McCann over for Markowicz. Markowicz chips it up center. Bounces over O'Kane stick. Back for Markowicz. Tries to dump it in. In comes Ohio. Couldn't connect on that pass. Now he's all alone. Pass. McCann with the save. All right, 1:12 to go. Carson to Jackson. Jackson enters the zone. Shot, glove save. 1:01 left in regulation. Right after this game, we'll be switching over to Sudbury Lady Wolves against North Bay Lakers over in Coniston, Ontario. We have Kalen Judd on the play-by-play for that one, for those of you interested. And we'll be back at the Gale Center for some more St. Charles High School hockey tomorrow at 11:30. Icing called. 52 seconds. We got an empty net. 6-on-5. Pass to start. Cleared out by Ohio. Crossway's back for it. He's come up the side. He's got some pressure. Nice hit from Gilbert. Now Billard gets a puck into the zone. 30 seconds left in regulation. Puck's on the net. It's knocked off. McLean sends it behind the net. Ohio chips it all the way down. Shot misses. We got 10 seconds. All right, off to Coniston we go.